What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing the preview of AFC Bournemouth v Manchester City in the Premier League, with a bit of an injury crisis in place for Manchester City. So before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe. It is free to subscribe. Social media links, they're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my big up Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email us with the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. 100 likes is the aim. Do let me know your thoughts as well in the comments below, including your score and team prediction for this game. Finally, I want to say a big thank you to SofaScore, today's video sponsor, who are going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest scores from around the grounds, not just involved in football, but covering all the sports that you guys love to follow, all in one place, all in one app. Very highly rated, it's free to download. They're going to keep you up to date not just with scores, but latest information, statistics, analysis, and all your good footballing needs. So do go and check it out. And anyone that does download SofaScore using my link in the description or the QR code on screen does help to support the future content created here on my channel. So, match information. This game taking place at the Vitality Stadium in the Premier League. It's match day number 10 on Saturday, 2nd of November 2024, with a 3 p.m. GMT kickoff time. Game not being broadcast live in the UK. It is in the blackout. Anyone that's lucky enough to get tickets for the small allocation down at Bournemouth away, do enjoy yourselves and have a cracking away day. So our opponents, AFC Bournemouth, formed in 1890, led by manager Andoni, currently find themselves 11th in the Premier League. They've played 9, won 3, drawn 3, lost 3. They're unbeaten in the last 2 games in all competitions, including a 2-0 win against Arsenal at home in the Premier League, who did go down to 10 men, and then they had a week off, and then last weekend drew 1-1 away at Aston Villa, thanks to a 96-minute equaliser from Ilkay. So Bournemouth unbeaten in the last 2 Premier League games. They're unbeaten in 3 of the last 4 games as well. Just starting to find a little bit of form, which makes this a very dangerous away game for Manchester City. If this was at home, I'd feel much more comfortable, but away from home, very tricky. Surprised it's not been selected for broadcast, but the broadcast weren't to know that Bournemouth were just going to start to hit form when Man City have got an injury crisis, because normally you'd look at this game and say, with the squad that Man City have got, it's going to be a bit of a formality. Man City are playing every 3 to 4 days, down to the bare bones. They're very tired. Players cannot be rotated in some positions. So Bournemouth, I think, are going to be rubbing their hands at the opportunity. But Manchester City need a 10 out of 10 performance. If we can do that, I'm confident we can come away from the Vitality Stadium with 3 points. So, a well-rested Bournemouth side who are starting to get a lot of their players back from injury as well. Only player that's missing for them is Alex Scott. There's some doubt over Kepa, Billing and Sinisterra, but all 3 of them are believed to be back for this weekend. So, if fit, could all be returning to the squad, potentially even starting in this game. So, in terms of dangers, Ilkay up top could be the first danger that City have to deal with. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be Ilkay or Enes, former Manchester City man, starting up top. I suspect it's going to be Ilkay with Justin Kluivert starting just behind him. Ryan Christie-Lewis, Cook in midfield. You've got Araujo at right back, Kirkez at left back. Kepa should be back as well in goal. So, pretty decent team. They normally line up with a 4-2-3-1 formation. I reckon it'll be Kepa starting in goal. If he's not fit, then it'll be Travers starting in goal. Back four made up of Araujo, Zabiani, Sensei and Kirkez. Then you've got Christie and Cook along with Justin Kluivert starting behind the striker Ilkay, and I reckon it'll be Utara starting out on the right wing with Semenyo starting on the left wing. For Manchester City, we formed in 1894, led by manager Pep Guardiola. Currently find ourselves first in the Premier League. In terms of the Premier League, in our form, we've played 9, winning 6, drawing 2, unbeaten in the Premier League, and we was unbeaten in all competitions up until Wednesday night, where we lost 2-1 away from home against Tottenham Hotspur in the EFL Cup. We are still unbeaten though in the Premier League and Champions League. We did win our last game in the Premier League, a home match against Southampton, by 1-0. Wasn't the most convincing of performances from Manchester City, but it got the job done. Our last away game in the Premier League against Wolves, we relied on a 95th minute John Stones header, where we won that game by 2-1. Again, not entirely convincing. In fact, we've not really looked very convincing since the beginning of October, since we had the international break into October. We've got all these injuries, at least 6 first-team players out injured, and all of a sudden, yeah, there's some doubt there. Lose our last game in the EFL Cup. I don't get the sense that anyone's really too bothered about it, but we are bothered about this Bournemouth game. We drop points here, and people are going to be upset. Some questions will get asked, and considering we've got a couple of difficult games to follow this against Sporting CP on Tuesday night and next Saturday away against Brighton, very difficult little spell for Manchester City. Just got to take it a game at a time. Need a win here, though. Win here does us our confidence the world of good heading into a big Champions League game on Tuesday and a big Premier League game next weekend before we head into another international break. Now, Man City have dangers absolutely everywhere, but we are having a fair few injuries. So Bournemouth will hear these injuries and they'll go, that's very good news. Oscar, Bobb, Rodri, both long-term absentees. Kyle Walker, don't know what's happening. Some rumours are circulating that he's apparently suspended by Manchester City. It's all just rumours right now. Don't have any clarification on that. Don't have any clarification on Jack Grealish other than he's going to be back after the international break, after it was expected that he was going to be back after 7 days. He'd put out on his Instagram story something about mental health. He's just become a father, so congratulations to Jack Grealish and his partner. Very exciting times for him. I don't know if it's related to that or if it's something personal going on, if there's an injury. We've not really had any clarification on that or on Kyle Walker as well. So the rumour are very much in full circle, but I await proper clarification from the man in charge, Pep Guardiola, to tell us what is going on. Jeremy Doku out until after the international break. Kevin De Bruyne back no time soon. Only a little niggle. He's meant to be back in October. It's November now, and he's not going to be back before the international break. Akanji, he was replaced in our starting 11 against Spurs with a niggle. He trains. I believe he is okay to go for this game. Will he be risked? We'll have to wait and see. Our squad's stretched thin. I don't see how Akanji can't be risked, if I'm being completely honest. I know we don't want to take unnecessary risks, but if he's fully fit, then to me he's got to start. Savinho, believed to be an ankle injury, only out for between 3 to 7 days. He's going to miss this game, could be back on Tuesday night. He's expected to be called up for the Brazil national squad, and the word from Brazil is that he's okay to be called up for international duty. So if he's okay to be called up for international duty, I'll let him sit this game out just to ensure that his recovery is fine. But from Tuesday onwards, good to go as far as I'm concerned. Got to get these players back. Still waiting on confirmation on Josko Gvardiol. He went down at the end of the Tottenham game feeling some discomfort. Waiting on confirmation on Ruben Diaz as well. He's feeling some discomfort but playing through the pain at the moment. So Manchester City, we could do a bit more rotation. Rico Lewis hasn't had a rest as well. So I'm expecting to see a fair amount of young players for Manchester City on the bench, including the likes of James McAtee, Jacob Wright, Simpson Pusey looked very good when he came on against Spurs. Nico O'Reilly, Alpha Ruprecht as well was on the bench against Spurs, so potentially could see all them on the bench, maybe even one or two of them even starting, depending on how bad the injuries are for Manchester City. So, going to pop up my team prediction now, one of the more interesting team predictions for the season. Going with Ederson to start in goal. I'm going Akanji, if he's fit, goes on the right hand side, John Stones through the middle and Nathan Ake on the left hand side, and then John Stones and Nathan Ake can be rotated midweek, so both of them could be good to go for Brighton, so Josko Gvardiol and Ruben Diaz can have their much needed rest. Then I go with Rico Lewis going into midfield alongside him, Kovacic, Phil Foden, and the big question mark is, do you go with McAtee, do you go with O'Reilly, do you go with Gundogan, who do you go with? I've gone with experience because Pep Guardiola seems to like to rely on Ilkay Gundogan. It's not really worked for him in the number 6 role, it's not really worked for him in the number 8 role, so I'm wondering if maybe Man City could drop Phil Foden a little deeper and have Gundogan play behind Erling Haaland, so we're not relying on him as much to be able to run, because to me it looks like Gundogan's legs have gone, and with how physically demanding the Premier League is, we can't afford for players to be losing their pace, and Gundogan looks like his pace has gone. So if we do start him, I'd give him the first half, see how he gets on, and if not, I'd be willing to chuck on O'Reilly or James McAtee. I'd be willing to start them if I'm being completely honest, but I just think City are going to go with the experience. Not really got many options out wide with Doku, Grealish and Savinho all out, so down to the bare bones. Already playing Nunes, who isn't a left winger, at left wing, who's looked very, very good there. Informed man, one of the first names on the team sheet. He starts, and I go with Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. You could alternate him with Phil Foden, potentially play him on the right and drop Bernardo into midfield, drop him a bit deeper. We'll have to wait and see. Now, that team, to me, doesn't sound as weak as some are making out. We know Rico Lewis needs a rest, but, we've got good options with the young players. You're going to see Ortega and probably Scott Carson on the bench as well. But it'd be really good if we could have Ruben Diaz and Josko Gvardiol at least in the squad for this game. Maybe even Savinho as well, and having Akanji fully fit would be a good boost for Manchester City. Now, I'm sitting here optimistic because that team is strong. If Man City can put in a 10 out of 10 performance, I'm confident we can win this game. I don't see Man City keeping a clean sheet though, so my score prediction, I'm going 3-1 Manchester City. I'm going Bernardo Silva to score, Erling Haaland to bag a brace, and I'm going Evan Ilson to score first for AFC Bournemouth and put Man City under pressure. So that's my betting tip. Both teams to score. I fancy that Nunes could score. He's in good form, could score any time, but I fancy Bernardo Silva because it just feels like a Bernardo Silva kind of game, and I don't really know why. I just feel like whenever Manchester City are under pressure and backs against the wall and there's any doubt there, if you need a player to really step up and throw in a 10 out of 10 performance when we really need them, Bernardo Silva always seems to be that player. So I'm going for this game to be a Bernardo Silva kind of performance. Now, if Gundogan does start, we could really do with him finding some form and putting in a really good, solid performance. Because if he doesn't, then surely the likes of McAtee, O'Reilly, Jacob Wright, they've got to be rubbing their hands here at potential first-team opportunities. So, next up for AFC Bournemouth, they've got another week off. Very jealous. They take on Brentford away next Saturday at 3 o'clock GMT. For Manchester City, we're travelling to Portugal to take on Sporting CP on Tuesday night. So Man City head down to Bournemouth today, Friday. We take on Bournemouth on Saturday. Saturday night, we will fly back to Manchester. We will have a rest day on Sunday. We will then prepare and fly to Lisbon on Monday. Play against Sporting on Tuesday. We will fly back Tuesday night and be back in Manchester for Wednesday for a rest day. On Thursday, they'll have preparation for the Brighton game. And then on Friday, we'll travel down to Brighton before playing Brighton on Saturday. So games coming thick and fast. Manchester City really need to persevere here. And if we can have a couple more players back from injury, then that would definitely be a huge bonus. But with such a short turnaround now, Manchester City got to take it a game at a time and just have focus here on AFC Bournemouth and nothing else. Don't even think about the Champions League game. Just think about AFC Bournemouth and then move on from there and deal with what we can. If we can come out injury-free from this, then that would be great. And then we can start preparing for our Champions League game on Tuesday night. Already gone out the EFL Cup. We've lost our first game of the season. We want a response, and we also want to rest and recover as well. Very important part of the season. Arsenal's fixtures, not great. Liverpool's fixtures are decent for them, so they're going to be looking at this and thinking that either this Bournemouth game and or the Brighton game next weekend, good opportunities for Man City to drop points. So if we can win here and win away next weekend, then in the Premier League, looking very, very good for Manchester City. Now, on my final note, got a live watch along for this game going live at 2:30 p.m. GMT for you guys to enjoy tomorrow, Saturday, so I'll see you then. So there we go, that has been today's video. Thank you everybody for watching. It is much appreciated. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below, including your score and team prediction for this game. Also, don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. 100 likes is the aim. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Social media links, they're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And finally, a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. I'll see you all again real soon for the next Man City video. Remember, stay tuned for that live stream. I'll have the link out later on this afternoon for you to go and set your reminders for live at 2:30 p.m. GMT tomorrow. I'll see you then. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.